Guys, I'm not gonna lie, Generation 6 has been on my mind a lot lately. I've even been having dreams about it, so I have a lot of different ideas and theories and just general ideas on how Generation 6 could go, what the series could be like. So in today's video, I really want to tackle that question. I really want to tackle that and kind of in a way suggest a pilot episode for Generation 6. Here's what I've come up with. We're gonna start off by mentioning a couple of the characters here. I'm just gonna say, we're gonna say Pony A and Pony B or something like that. And then we're also gonna have Amy as a character and maybe Spike or something like that is also gonna be a character. To make things simpler, I'm just having 2 of the ponies be there because 6 might be too many for this kind of concept for a show. So I could honestly see it being, I could see it being 6 characters. I could see it being a main 6 again or something like that, but I think it honestly would make more sense if it was like 2 to 4 characters or something. But that being said, let's jump into this because the episode would start off with these main characters essentially enjoying a sleepover. Pony A and Pony B, they're enjoying a sleepover, a slumber party with each other. They start a pillow fight and they're just having a grand old time, but it is interrupted by some kind of beeping or some kind of magical noise or something like that. And so they stop and they realize that, oh shit, it's the mirror. And this mirror is like broken in half. Only like half of the mirror is actually there. The rest of it is just like there's no shards there, I guess is a way you could say it. Spike or some other character like that is on the mirror. It could even just be Amy that's on the other side of the mirror, but I think having Spike there could be fun because he was in, I'm pretty sure, like every generation that I'm aware of anyway, so perhaps it could be him just for a fun little thing. But basically they say that Amy needs some help. You should come on over and help her with her situation, her issue, or whatever else like that, right? So the ponies decide to postpone their sleepover, their slumber party, so that they can go help Amy. They put on either, like, maybe they have like glass shards on a necklace or something, and that activates the mirror so they can step through it or something. I honestly am a little bit skeptical about on how they should do it because there's a couple of different ways they could do it, of course, and since the mirror isn't completely like finished, it feels weird for them to step through it. But either way, they go through it, we get an intro, and when they come back out of the intro, we now see Pony A and Pony B in a very human bedroom, and we find that Amy is actually a human girl, somewhere around a teenager or somewhere around that era, because I feel like with this generation, it would be ideal to have the characters be a little bit older or something and tackle a little bit of a heavier topics, and that could be really well done if you have the characters be in like high school or middle school or something like that. So Amy is in like middle school to high school or something like that, and you can very clearly tell based off of her bedroom and everything. So they talk to her, and Amy basically says that there's this new girl at school, Beth, who has been bullying her, and she doesn't know why, and she needs it to stop. She wants this to stop. She doesn't want this bullying to happen anymore. The ponies decide to get a little bit more information about this. They find out a little bit more, like I said, like how Beth is new at the school and everything like that, and this has been going on for a couple of weeks now, and Amy has no idea why this is happening. And so the ponies decide at the next day at school, we're gonna go follow you. We're gonna use some kind of magic or something to hide ourselves or something to that effect. You could even do something funny here and have the 2 ponies that go to the school with her dress in like a mascot or something like that, or just pretend to be mascot characters or something for the school. That could be fun because then you could have like a random student or something be like, whoa, sick, wow, the mascot, what's the mascot doing here? You know, they could have some kind of funny interaction there or something. But either way, they hide, they're undercover, they're watching Amy and everything like that, and nothing seems out of the ordinary until finally Beth just randomly decides to pick on Amy. She knocks some books out of her hand, or maybe she starts throwing them out of Amy's locker or something like that, and then when Amy goes to pick up the books, Beth just kicks the books further along the hallway so that Amy can never reach them. Watching this, Pony A decides that they want to step in, and they use their magic to move the book in such a way that Beth actually slips and trips on that book, which makes Beth really upset, and she decides that she's gonna make Amy's day even worse. And so throughout the day, Beth is picking on her even more than she would have otherwise, and Pony B is like, oh, you shouldn't have done that, this is pretty bad. Maybe they argue a little bit about it or something like that. We can see different moments of the bullying. Maybe Beth destroys Amy's homework or something like that. Maybe she ruins like one of her pictures or something in like art class. Beth could just straight up steal Amy's lunch during lunchtime or something like that. And of course the ponies can't really intervene too much here because if they did, they would reveal themselves, of course, for one, and for two, well, there's no telling what would happen if they just came out and there's like, hey, there's these talking horses in real life now, and they're just causing problems and stuff. So it'd be a whole thing. So they can't just reveal themselves. They have to watch and gather notes and figure out exactly what's going on. Another bullying moment could be like where there's like PE or something like that. Maybe she goes extra hard on her. If it's like dodgeball, that's an easy route. If it's something like volleyball, I think could be more interesting because then you could see like that kind of school bully thing happen during PE. That's not just dodgeball, which is the classic thing for everything. Dodgeball's been done a million times, and volleyball might be kind of a fun thing to come back to later in later episodes or something. But the school day ends, and Pony A and Pony B are like, wow, this is crazy. And they're discussing with Amy like what went wrong and like what they could possibly do. Like they're trying to come up with ideas and stuff. And Pony B is still upset at Pony A for making Beth trip and fall and everything like that. And she's like, you shouldn't have done that. You made things worse. And they kind of argue and bicker a little bit like that. But after just discussing it for a minute, Pony B decides to follow Beth home so that she can find out more about Beth. Maybe they can find out why she's been doing this or something like that, right? By following her. So she decides to do that, and Pony A decides, yeah, sure, whatever. And she goes back home with Amy. Pony A and Amy are both in the bedroom. And of course, you could have Spike or half of the main 6 here or something like that with Amy and half of them go with Beth or something. That could be a very easy thing to do. So just to clarify that, if you had more characters, it would still work. While in Amy's bedroom, Pony A and Amy both talk and discuss on what they could do. Pony A decides that she wants to come up with a idea to embarrass or get even with Beth in some way. They want to embarrass her so horribly that she would never mess with Amy ever again. That is Pony A's idea. That's what she comes up with. And of course, Amy, being the recipient of all of this bullying, decides to agree with it because she's like, heck yeah, that actually sounds like a great idea. I'm tired of this. I want to fight back, kind of a thing like that. And so they kind of talk about it a little bit and everything. So after all this discussion, the following day, all of the ponies meet back up together, and Pony B says to Amy and Pony A, hey, look, listen, here's what you need to do to stop all this bullying. Here is the solution that I came up with. Invite Beth to a sleepover. Invite her to a slumber party or something, and all of your issues will work themselves out. Just trust me on this. And of course, Pony A and even Amy are both kind of against this idea because Beth is the bully. For one, they think, well, she's not even going to come to the party anyway because they hate her currently, right? So why would she come to the party? And two, how is that going to help at all? This is just going to put her in her home, and the bullying is going to get worse because she's going to be able to get picked on at home. This is a bad idea. But then, after kind of arguing about it for a little bit, Pony A realizes, hey, wait a minute, if we invite Beth to the slumber party, this will be the perfect way we can get even with her. We can set up all kinds of traps and pranks and things like that and absolutely embarrass the heck out of her so much that she never messes with you again. And so Pony A and Amy secretly agree to this plan, and without Pony B having any idea what is going on. They have no idea this is why they agreed to do this. So they agreed to do this. They go into school with her and everything like that, and they kind of see how things go. And at first, it doesn't seem like there's going to be any bullying at all, but then Beth again picks on Amy one more time, and right after Beth is leaving after bullying her, maybe she just knocks books out of her hands again or something like that, makes fun of her or something, and is walking away, Amy decides to invite her right then and there, and she invites her before Beth can leave. After a brief moment of hesitation, because obviously Beth is very shocked by this sudden invitation to a summer party, Beth decides to agree to it, which of course shocks Pony A, Amy, and whoever else was on Amy's side of things, because they're like, wow, I didn't even expect her to join, but now she is. So that happens, and surprisingly, right away, they see results. Beth doesn't bully Amy for the rest of the day, and finally, when they come back home, Amy, Pony A, and Pony B all set up the party. They're setting up the slumber party, setting up decorations, maybe making certain foods and stuff like that, or maybe they just have, like, Pony B take care of the food, because what's really happening is Pony A is, and of course Amy too, are secretly setting up those traps, those traps, those pranks or whatever, to completely embarrass Beth so much that she just leaves completely and never messes with her again. So after the party is set up and everything like that, Beth arrives with a smile. She actually seems kind of excited about this, which again surprises everyone except for Pony B, because she knows this is the right thing to do here. Of course, throughout the party, these different traps and things like that get set off. The important thing about these traps is that they can't be linked back to Amy. Like, it can't be done in such a way that it's very obviously Amy doing this, because otherwise Beth would just immediately leave. You know what I'm saying? So it needs to be kind of like, oh, this was an accident, or oh man, this just kind of happened to go wrong for you, kind of thing. All the way up until the very last kind of trap or prank or whatever else like that, where perhaps she does something and something falls on her. Maybe it messes up her hair, maybe it messes up her makeup, or maybe it just something happens to Beth here from one of these traps, and Amy snaps a picture. This is what the whole thing was leading up to. She took the pictures of like all the different traps and things like that happening to her, so it makes her look really horrible. It makes her look really bad, and it embarrasses her. And Beth cries, and she yells at Amy and stuff like that. She doesn't actually like straight up attack her. She just yells and kind of complains. She cries, and then she says that at her old school, nobody liked her there, and it seems like nobody likes her at this new school either, and apparently nobody wants her, and so she runs off and she leaves, which kind of shocks Pony A and Amy, of course. Pony B, now realizing that this was all a trap, says, what the heck is wrong with you guys? The reason why I told you guys to do this slumber party is because of what she just screamed out just now. She has literally no friends. By befriending her, you are eliminating your enemy completely, and you would actually have a friendship. What are you guys doing? And she kind of gets upset about them. They're just like, well, what's done is done. Like, what are we gonna do now? And they decide, well, let's just see what happens tomorrow. And they go to school tomorrow, and it did actually kind of work out in a way, because Amy is no longer getting bullied by Beth. Beth is no longer picking on Amy. So in that regard, it did kind of work. However, Beth is extremely depressed. She's got her like depression hoodie on. She is looking super depressed and upset here and things like that. So it's a victory, but at what cost kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So seeing this, Pony A realizes that Pony B was right all along, and she apologizes to Pony B about like how she handled things and said, you had the right idea all along. I'm really sorry. And then Pony A turns to Amy and says, you should apologize to Beth and try to set things right too, because this is just messed up. This is really bad. You messed this up real bad. You should try to fix this, basically. Now, of course, Amy is kind of hesitant to do this because from her perspective, everything worked out perfectly for her. She's no longer getting picked on at school or anything like that, and so why should she apologize? In her eyes, Beth deserved all of this. This is exactly what Beth deserved. She's even about to post the pictures that she took during that summer party, and so that everybody could see it and start making fun of her and things like that. But right before she does it, Beth gets picked on by some other random student. Maybe, again, like I said, maybe her hair got messed up or something like that. And so the other student is making fun of Beth about her hair or her clothes or something else that got messed up during that slumber party. And she's making fun of her. And Amy sees this, and then she has that moment of realization like, oh shit, I didn't fix this. I actually did make this worse. And so she steps in, defends Beth, and then the bully that just bullied Beth decides, yeah, whatever, and she leaves. And Amy turns to Beth and basically apologizes and invites her to a real legitimate slumber party this time. And she even shows her where she deletes the pictures that she took from the previous slumber party and everything like that. Of course, Beth is very hesitant to do this, but ultimately she agrees to do it. They have their big slumber party and everything like that. Everything gets resolved. Everything is great now. They like each other. They blossom a whole friendship from that and everything. And that's kind of the ending, so to speak. Now, right after that, the two ponies decide to finally go back home to their dimension, the pony realm, whatever you want to call it. And so they leave, and when they do, they find that some of the mirror is actually even more fixed. The mirror has new shards on it. The mirror is a little bit larger. From resolving this friendship problem, or whatever you want to call it, the mirror is now bigger. It is growing, and that could be kind of something that teases the rest of the season, because the season could be about, like, going to Amy every now and then, helping her with an issue or something like that in the human world. Of course, you can have some issues in, like, the pony world, so you're not always in the human world. But I think going there every now and then throughout the season and resolving issues there, making the mirror more and more complete would be a cool thing. And then, of course, at the finale, the mirror could complete itself, and any number of things could happen from the mirror being completed. For one, it could now allow them to go anywhere in the human world rather than just this one girl's bedroom. Maybe now they can go to Beth's bedroom or some other random characters that we meet throughout the series or something like that. And so now they're helping a different person every episode or something like that in season 2 or something, right? And then, of course, you could do other things too, like maybe with the mirror being completed, perhaps now humans can go to the pony world, and so maybe there's something you could do with that. There is so much potential in that, and that is pretty much all I got here for the pilot and my thoughts on what Generation 6 could be. But let me know in the comments below what you think. Is this a good pilot? Did you guys like my series pitch here, so to speak? Because I think it's great. I would love to see this. But I got to know what you guys think first. And if you want to see any other suggestions for what Generation 6 could be, please do let me know in the comments below for that too, because I do have other ideas for pilot episodes and things like that for Generation 6. So do all those things, and remember, most importantly, to like, subscribe, share, and do all of those things, because when you do those things, not only do you get access to wonderful content such as this, but you also get to become wonderful for yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.